That cycle of playing other teams in your league, particularly teams that are close, that you recruit against, where players are going to be on your team and would like to go play back against those other teams, you know. So on top of that, I think the best two teams should play each other for the championship game. You know, I think that's how it ought to end up, and it ought to be settled on the grass, even if it's a rematch. It ought to be settled on the grass, you know. And yeah, I think it speaks volumes. They want to be a part of it, you know, and several of them could have left that were healthy, Corey Durden and guys like that, you know, and some of them needed to come back because of injury. And it doesn't happen if you don't have that kind of setup, not just in the locker room, but player to coach, coach to player. I'm very proud of that. You know, I think we're the only staff in the ACC that had all 10 assistants return. We had, at one time, the fewest number of players in the country in the portal leaving our roster. We had a lot of players return, as you mentioned. So I think all of those things are indicators that it's a great place not just to play, but to work. And so I'm very proud of that, because it hasn't always been that way. It's taken time, not just on my behalf, on the players' behalf, on the coach's behalf, the chemistry, getting it right. And so it's fun to be a part of that transformation, and very proud of it. Yeah, we've had some tough things happen, and I think, you know, adversity creates opportunities, and nobody likes, you know, feeling like you got the raw deal, which several of our teams have probably felt that way. And that's going to come full circle, it will. You know, I believe that. And this is going to be a great time for that to happen. You know, I know our fan base feels the same way that you talk, that there's been some bad things for whatever reason, and would love to set the record straight, that we want to get that right, you know, and see the right things happen. And I believe, you know, when you do the right things over and over and over, eventually it comes back to you, and that's what we're going to try to do.
I've always prided myself on accuracy. You know, playing the quarterback position, getting with your receivers and tight ends, it's all about timing and spacing. And I think that really all starts in the offseason. You know, making sure that I understand the way that each and every one of my receivers runs their route and how I want them to run it. And on top of that, just really being prepared for what defensive look that I'm getting to certain coverages, whether, you know, certain routes are going to convert versus certain coverages or not. Just being able to be on the same page as everyone, but also making sure that, you know, I'm able to layer that ball into a second window, or if I have to zip it in, I'm able to do that, and kind of just being able to get every aspect of every throw is something that I work on a ton. Yeah, so growing up, I mean, just from an early age, I did everything left-handed. I still write left-handed to this day. My dad is actually a completely left-handed person as well. He was a pitcher in college, and, you know, growing up, he thought I was going to be a left-handed pitcher, and I think I was like 5 years old. I was throwing left-handed my whole life until then. One day I picked up my older brother's glove and tried out righty, and it turned out I could throw a little bit better with my right arm, so I just stuck with it.
Yeah, definitely it humbled me tremendously. You know, I put a lot into last season, and I put a lot of hopes and dreams into last season, and to have it taken away from me was definitely tragic, humble, and emotional, really to just be frank. But it definitely reignited the passion about how much I love the game and how much I really, really want, you know, this to be my life career, and it's just continue to spark, and I'm going to use that as my fuel this season.
Last year, 342 total snaps, only 2 missed tackles. What can you attribute to being such a great tackler?
I just try to be as consistent as possible. You know, we always preach about coming in and being the same guy every day, and I just try to be the best me that I can be every day. You know, as far as, you know, not missing tackles, I just try my best to remain focused at the point of attack. You know, not shoot until I can smell the breath is what we say as far as attacking technique, and just try to be strong at the point of attack and break it down. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty all the time, but as long as it's on the ground, that's all we need.
So I've seen, you know, I played on the field for all three linebacker positions now, Mike, Will, and Sam. You know, going into the Louisville week when I had to fill in at Mike, I hadn't played Mike in 2 years, maybe since my freshman year, spring, something like that. So it was a little bit new, but, you know, every single thing that I've had to do, you know, whether it was switch positions and adjust or whatever, it's made me that much better of a player and a person, just having to adapt and continue to push forward and do whatever I can do to get the defense going and play the best of our ability. Yeah, I think there's a number of guys that kind of stepped up in the spring because there's still some guys hurt, still some guys injured that didn't participate through the spring. So I think there's a number of guys. Examples: Devin Van, Anthony Smith, just some young guys that have got some playing time, but haven't necessarily have been asked to have as large of a role as that they're going to have. So Josh Pierre-Louis is another one that I'm excited to see. There's a number of guys that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I know they put the work in, and they're going to make a huge impact for us on Saturdays this year.
Wolfpack Nation, I can't wait for you guys to come into Carter Finley this year. It's going to be an awesome season. It's going to be a historical season. And each and every week we're going to give us our absolute all every Saturday, and we just can't thank you enough for your support.
Wolfpack Nation, just get ready for a run, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hot. So make sure y'all hydrated. Y'all come ready to rock for us, man. Love y'all.
It's going to be a great year. Can't wait to be out there in front of you guys. It's going to be really special.